Hello and welcome to another edition of World of Sumo News. I'm Mika Grimmer, and today we'll be updating you on all the rikishi from the different ranks we've chosen to follow over Kyushu Basho as of day 9. We, of course, can't follow everyone, but these men have stood out to us, and we hope they will to you too. And if you haven't watched the Basho through day 9 and don't want to know the results just yet, come back once you have. First off, we'd like to say a quick thank you to Chris Jones, as well as to Katsuto Goto, our men in Japan who kindly gave us photos and videos to bring you all a fan's eye view of Kyushu Basho. And don't forget to stay with us until the end of this video, where we announce the 3 winners of our giveaway of a 2022 official sumo calendar, as well as 2 stamp banzukes from Akisayama Beya. Hakioi! First up in Sandanme is Muruyama of Narutobea, who is Sandanme 76. Currently, he's 2-2. Sadly, he lost both on day 6 and day 7. He had no bouts on day 8 or 9, so here's hoping he can come back well rested. A little higher in Makushita, Akisayama of Kisebaya, who's Makushita 45, is at 3-2. He lost to Ryuden on day 5 and defeated Koto Dairyu on day 7. He had no bout on day 8, and on day 9, he fought Shohoryu, who Ryuden beat on day 8. After a Monoi, Shohoryu was confirmed the winner of the bout after Akisayama stepped out of the ring a fraction of a second before Shohoryu touched the clay from Akisayama's slapdown. But Akisayama still has one more chance to get that Kachikoshi, so here's hoping he does. Next up is Shishi of Urumagawa Beya, who's Makushita 17. He lost to Fujiazuma on day 5 and then lost to Nihon Yanagi on day 8 with no bout on day 9. Ishizaki of Takasago Beya, Makushita 15, is 1-3. He lost to Atami Fuji on day 5 and lost to Kanno on day 8. Of course, we're also watching Atami Fuji of Isegahama Beya, who's Makushita 14, and he's faring better at 3-1. He won against Ishizaki on day 5 and Tsukahara on day 7. He has no bouts on day 8 or 9, so he should be well rested on day 10 when he'll likely mount the dohyo again. Now up the banzuke a bit. Up in Jiro, Koto Shoho of Sarude Beya has received his second defeat on day 9 by Tsurugi Sho, but he's still showing some excellent sumo overall. He's at 7-2. Everyone's favorite small rikishi, Enho, is at 5-3, and while he isn't winning every bout, that spark of the old Enho that lit up the sumo world seems to be back. Enho's 3-bout winning streak was dampened by a quick loss to Asanawaka on day 5 and then the leader Oho on day 6. But since then, he came back to beat both Mitoru on day 7 in an exciting bout where he outwitted the big man, as well as Daishoho on day 8. However, on day 9, Enho lost to Shinjiro Hiradoumi of Sakaigawa Beya, who's Jiro 13. Speaking of Hiradoumi, while he's had a rough start to Kyushu Basho, he's now at 4-5. He had an exciting but messy bout on day 8 to beat Churanoumi and another energetic bout that led to a victory against Enho on day 9. At the bottom of Juro, Kotokuzan, Juro 14 of Araishio Beya, has had a great basho so far. He's at 8-1, which is only 1 behind the leader, Oho. He's had only 1 loss, and that was to Shinjiro Hiradoumi on day 3. He is the lowest ranked Jiro, so he's faced some of the potentially easier foes, including 1 Makushita Rikishi, so his opponents are only going to get harder in week 2. Which leaves Oho, who is leading the pack with a very dominant basho. He secured his Kachikoshi on day 8, and now on day 9, he still has a perfect record of 9-0. I'm not sure what happened with his sumo, but something clicked between the last 2 basho. Oho is absolutely showing us some phenomenal sumo. So now he's just chasing that Zencho Yusho. Up in Makuchi, Koto Eiko gets his Makekoshi on day 9 after an intense and fast-moving bout with Ishiura, who's at 4-5. Abi, who's 8-1, who's only lost to Hokuto Fuji so far, has seen his pushing style bring him 1 away from his Kachikoshi on day 9. That means he has a lot of room to breathe, especially since he's at a lower rank, so he's been able to avoid the cream of the crop this basho. Sanoumi, Maegashira 16, is 6-3. He came into day 9 after defeating Shohozhan on day 8, only to be defeated by struggling Yutakayama, showing some of his best sumo of the basho. Every basho has a little bit of controversy, and this episode we're going to be covering a couple controversial calls that I think a lot of people might have opinions on. First up is after a Monoi, Shohozhan gets his second win of the basho against Tochinoshin. Tochinoshin's heel lightly touched the outside of the ring, but the Gyoji didn't see it at the time, so the match continued until it appeared that Tochinoshin had won the match. Because of this possibly controversial loss, it puts Tochinoshin in a rather precarious position with 2 wins, 4 losses, and 3 absences. If he loses again, he will likely be demoted to Jiro, and at his age and injuries, fighting back up to Maguchi will be rather difficult for him. injury returnee Kotonowaka, who's Maegashira 11, is not performing like his usual self, and he lost for the first time ever to Chiyoshima on day 9. He is now 3-6. Hoshouryu broke even at 4-4 on day 8, defeating Onosho, only to lose to Ozeki Takekeisho on day 9, bringing him back to more losses than wins. With his uncle Asashoryu's arrival approaching on day 12, he'll want a few more wins to look better for the Mongolian Dragon's arrival. Now let's talk about Sanyaku. And Shinko Musubi Kiribayama finally got his second win of the Basho with a Tsukiotoshi win over Daisho on day 8. He then outwit Wakatakakage on day 9 to pick up his third win. And that's not great for a newly promoted Sanyaku man, but it's good to remember that Komusubis always fight against everyone above them in the first week, so hopefully second week he'll be able to rack up some wins. Sekiwake Mitakeumi has fought smart these last few days as he outmuscled Okinoumi for day 8 and defeated fellow Sekiwake Meisei to get his Kachikoshi on day 9. So far he's 8-1 as he's chasing Ozeki promotion. Another Sanyaku man in trouble is Meisei, who scored his 4th win over Takara Fuji with a Yoritaoshi and then a loss to the other Sekiwake Mitakeumi on day 9. Up at Ozeki, Shodai stays at 5 wins and now has 4 losses under his Mawashi as he gets beat by Endo on day 9. Having at least 3 shaky wins of these 5, Shodai remains a wobbly Ozeki. And now, on to Ozeki Takekeisho. On day 7, he barreled through Wakatakakage, but on day 8 is where the controversy lies. Komusubi, Ichinojo, and Ozeki Takekeisho went at each other hard, but then went into a stalemate. And as the minutes ticked by, Ichinojo appeared to have won the bout, only for a Monoi to be called. The video footage shows Ichinojo pulling at Takekeisho's top knot early on in the bout and thus was disqualified. For a ruling of Honsoku, it does not matter whether there was intention or not, so Takekeisho got the win by Honsoku, going 8-0. And then on day 9, he took care of business with Hoshouryu. On day 9, Ichinojo was ran through by Onosho, going 3-6, with the demotion looming. Big Teruno Fuji shows his Yokozuna pride and dominates everyone without question, especially Endo, a man who usually makes Yokozuna work for a victory over him. Teruno Fuji won by Oshidashi and a Kachikoshi for an extra bonus. And then on day 9, he faced one of his rivals, Takayasu, who's had a rough couple of months, never mind a rough Basho. We can see the Yokozuna's power just rising as he manhandles the bear that is Takayasu as he moved him to the edge of the Tawara. So the joint leaders going into day 10 are Ozeki Takekeisho and Yokozuna Teruno Fuji, each with perfect records of 9-0. And that's it for this episode of World of Sumo News. Please like, share, and subscribe and hit that bell for the latest content from World of Sumo. Thank you again to Armin in Japan for providing videos and photos for this episode. Links to our website, store, and all social media platforms, as well as all relevant links, are in the description box. And now to the winners of our competition. The calendar winner is Joseph Murr, and the winners for the 2 Stamp-on-Sukes are Tim W. and Gary Nato. Our contact email is in the description box, so let us know where we can send your prizes. Congratulations, guys. Another giveaway will be coming soon. Thank you for joining me. I'm Mika Grimmer. See you in the next one.